Hey guys, I'm Cheryl Gallagher. I work at the McFall Senior Center in Bel Air, and I have this awesome, amazing opportunity to be with you today, this evening, morning, wherever you are watching this, to do a yoga class for you. I've done lots of different things in my life. I've experienced from martial arts to I do massage therapy, and also I learned through Yoga Fit. And Yoga Fit is a style of yoga that is all about putting the pose into your body. So all our bodies are unique and different. So it's going to give you a chance to maybe modify and do things that work for you that hopefully you'll feel better after the session. And that's the hope for any practice or any class that I do, is that you guys feel better. It doesn't mean that you're going to be able to balance on your big toe necessarily, but the idea is that each class is unique and different. So I don't do classes that are just traditional yoga. So if I throw some different things in today, just roll with it. So a couple things to talk about with yoga is obviously have a mat. Now, if you have a mat that's pretty thin, consider actually maybe getting a towel or a blanket to put also on the mat for support for your knees or for your wrist. The other thing I would like you to have, whether it's a traditional strap or you can get a tie, a towel, something that you could use as a strap. The other pieces of equipment are blocks. Now, I adore cork blocks. Foam blocks are great too, but these are great for balancing. You probably can just order them online at this point. If you don't have blocks at home right now, just look around and maybe take a blanket and roll it up and use it as a support. And also, since you are home doing this right now, then you could use a chair or some other piece of equipment, maybe a couch or a wall, for support while you're doing the session. So cool. So you're going to hear me say things like the long side of the mat and the short side of the mat today. So the short side is just that smaller edge, and this would be the long side. So we're going to get you going here. We're going to get into the legs. We're going to do lots of different poses, and I'll give you lots of modifications so that you feel very accomplished today and just feel better. Cool. Yay. Let's get going. So let's start at the short side of your mat. And every practice starts with an amazing foundation. So we need to start that with our feet. So our feet, one of the things that a lot of times happens is we tend to roll out and turn our toes out when we walk. So let's pay attention to that today and turn our toes forward or turn them slightly in towards the center line of the body. So good stable base. Our feet are going to be adjusted under our hips, somewhere to our shoulders. And then from there, we're going to begin to lift our body. And the way we lift our body is we engage the thighs, we tuck the tailbone in just a little bit. Let's draw the shoulders up into the ears. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Draw them down and back towards the spine. Let's do that again. Inhale, draw the shoulders up and down. So we're creating space from the ear to the shoulder. Again, now I want you to sort of imagine your head is, well, maybe not a bobblehead, but imagine that your head has started to sort of float up a little bit. Again, creating space in the neck. Let's draw the arms out by the sides in what we call a traditional mountain pose. Our palms are forward. Our hands are opened up and expanded. So in yoga, we want to talk about expanding the body and opening it up. My chest is open, and I'm doing a little squeeze in my upper back. So it's not over squeezed, it's just a little to remind myself of really great, again, foundation and a good posture. Take your chin, maybe draw it back a little bit. We want to have an ear-shoulder alignment. So a lot of times I see this, we're adjusted forward, we want to draw their body back. Cool. Again, lift the kneecaps, engage those thighs, engage the glutes, tuck that tailbone. Good. And so this is a good foundation for us today. Inhale, let's draw the arms up, just a breath in, and exhale, turn the palms down. Good. So there's not necessarily any right or wrong way to do this class. I will cue you with form and structure, that is important. But if you need to do something slightly different, it's okay. Good. Inhale. Now let's exhale through the mouth. Good. A couple more. So our breath is our bridge. Good. Last one here. We can look up if we'd like. And exhale slow. Let your arms float down, palms forward. And I'm going to just turn to face you for just a second here. So you can turn or you can stay at the short side of your mat. It's up to you. One hand, I want you to have it on your heart, and one hand, I want you to have it on your belly. Again, nice foundation, lifting the body. And I want you to expand that belly. So we're doing a little bit more breath work here. Again, it's the gap, it's the bridge between our mind and our body. So let's become really present with our body today. Inhale. We should feel our ribs and our belly expand, pressing into our hand. And exhale, relax. Relax your heart, relax your lungs. Let's really enjoy the gift of what our body is. Good. A few more. Again, keep the head nice and tall. Avoid this whole slouching. We want to stay open, lifted, and expanded and feeling good. So we can do that exhale now through the nose. Or still, if you like to purse the lips and blow like you're blowing up a balloon or a party favor, out the mouth. One more. Awesome. So facing that short side of the mat, let's draw the arms up and draw the hands next to you. So just on your waist here. Now I want you to find your center, your balance. So we tend to lean to one side more than the other. So see if you're doing that right now, and just go ahead and just maybe lean a little left, a little right, and adjust that. When you find that center, I want you to engage the thighs. So press into your heels just a little bit. Keep your knees soft. We never want to lock a joint out. Good. And then we're going to lean all the way over to the right side. When we lean to that right side, we're going to press into the heel, and that left leg is going to become, what I'd like to say, empty. This left foot is going to come back as wide as you can and turn the toes towards the corners of the mat, to that long side. Now you get to adjust here how long or wide you need this stance. So we're going to do some moonflowers and some sunflowers today. Toes are out. These knees are going to come aligned over the toes. Inhale, nice big star for everybody. Open your hands, open your body, and breathe. Good. Good. Let's start with the sunflowers. So again, we're going to relax the hips, and knees come out, and just grab forward, keeping the chest up. Now we can look up or we can look forward. If there's something going on with the neck and we just want to look forward, that's fine. If it feels good to look up, do that. And see if you can keep your weight equally in both left and right feet. So you don't want to be leaning more to one side than the other. Relax your jaw. Your jaw will actually relax your hips. Good, and left over right, then right over left. And if you only come down a couple of inches, just a little bit here, that's okay. Inhale, and exhale, and always breathing. Good, a couple more here. Good, nice big star for me. Open the body. Cool. From here, let's bring those hands back to the waist. Turn this left foot forward. Step it in. So where we were, that short side, inhale here, and we're going to exhale. We're going to come down to our first fold. So I'm going to bring a block to this short side. Inhale here, exhale down. I'm going to give you a couple options for your folds. All right, so if blood pressure is a thing, or if you need to keep your head above your heart, you're going to do what I call monkey pose. So fingertips or either to a block, possibly a blanket. My shoulder blades are squeezing towards my spine and my chest is open. And my head is a little bit above my heart. If this blood pressure isn't a thing or you feel good, you can just allow to do this inversion. Allow your body just to come down. Allow your head to release. Allow your neck to relax. And maybe just a very gentle shake side to side. You can even grab the elbows and do what they call a ragdoll and just kind of a little bit side to side. Still a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Good. Release the hands here, and we're going to do a halfway lift. So slide the hands to the shins, open up the chest, squeeze those shoulder blades together, exhale down, and reverse swan dive. Bending the legs, swing up. And exhale, hands to the waist. Okay, so I'm going to step to the other side just because I'm going to step back with my right foot and not my left this time. So you won't be seeing my back. So still short side of the mat, nice and tall. This time we are leaning to that left side. Press into the heel. Take that right foot back. Turn the toes towards the corners of the mat. And here we go again. So this time we're going to do some moonflowers. Inhale here. So moonflowers is a little different. We're working with the upper body and we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. So elbows come down towards the tops of the thighs. The knees come out over that second and third toe, and we press up. Elbows can drop just a little below the shoulders, that's fine, but they don't need to. They can stay about right here. Again, open that chest. Keep the chest forward. We don't want to be leaning over so much. We want to keep our body nice and tall. Remember, good foundation, good posture. Now, if you get a little tired, maybe do every other one, or just pause for a moment in your star. One more here. Inhale, big star. Good. And then we're going to do one more moonflowers, and we're going to have a little fun with this one. Are you ready? Ooga, 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 ooga. And then up. Yes. Inhale, hands to the waist. Turn your right foot forward, top of the mat. Step it in. Breathe in and exhale down to that fold, or remembering your monkey. Remember, fingertips down, flat back. And from here, you can pedal the legs a little bit. Or you can do that traditional fold, like I said, and arms can just sway side to side. You can even give yourself a nice little hug. Continue to do that breath work. Stay here for another breath. Good. And then it's halfway lift. Sliding the shins up, or sliding the hands to the shins, open the chest. Exhale down, reverse swan dive. Mountain pose. Awesome. Palms forward, body is tall, head is lifted. Couple of breaths here. Good. Inhale, rise. Exhale down, bending the legs and putting those palms on the mat. Stepping back, we're going to go to downward dog. So we're going to press into those heels of the hands, opening the hands, and begin to pedal the feet. Now, important pieces here, tailbone is lifted. My head, my ears are between my biceps, and there shouldn't be a lot of bend in my wrist. There's also not a lot of pressure in my shoulders. It's all more in the core. Good, pedal the feet. Or we can lift the heels, stretch the toes, exhale down. Lift, breathe in, exhale down. Good. If you're starting to get tired, I'm going to show you the next pose that you can choose. We can bring your knees down, under our hips, uncurl the toes to back for what I call puppy.
Fingers are forward, and I'm stretching out my arms and sides of the body. Again, let the head just do its thing. And you can, as a puppy would, wag its tail. And open those hips a little bit. So I'm going to give you the option between puppy and downward dog if needed at any point during this session. Good. Inhale, lift. Take your knees out to the edges of the mat, big toes towards one another. Sit back for child's pose. Important part here, I want that forehead on something. It could be on the mat. If you cannot reach the mat, it could be on a block. Roll that forehead side to side. Another option could also be your hands here or even here. So we want that head and neck to relax. So whatever way that works for you, that's just fine. There's a lot of relaxation points on the forehead. So when we breathe and let go and roll this, it helps with stress. Not that any of us are stressed ever. So good. Reach out those hands, walk the fingers forward. Good. Inhale, lift. We're going to bring the knees under our hips again. Sit back for puppy for just one breath. Wag the tail. Good. Inhale, lift. Rise. We're going to go to our first kneeling plank. So again, options here. Palms down, fist, roll up the mat a couple of times, or even a blanket under your hands for some more support under your wrist. Now, important thing here, I want you to open those hands all the way up and expand the hands so that the pressure is distributed over the hand and not just in that one little point in the wrist. Press into the mat, strong body. Elbows, the creases of the elbows should be facing one another. Cool. Elbows, I want you to squeeze them into the body. Bring yourself all the way down, slowly, and then all the way down to the mat for a little cobra. My hands are at my upper ribs. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale down, hands right under those shoulders for me, pressing up and back to puppy. Remembering to use our breath to help guide us and to move us. If you ever feel like you're getting out of breath, start getting back in sync with your breath and move with it instead of beyond it. So we always want to work with it. So as I inhale, I lift my body. I come down to my kneeling plank. My hands are under my shoulders. If you desire a little bit more, all you got to do is curl those toes and straighten the legs. We are at different places all the time, every day. Today's yoga session and tomorrow could be completely different. Good. From here, again, squeezing those elbows towards the side of the body. Bring your body down. Pause. All the way down. Inhale, lift. Little cobra, lift the chest. Exhale. Hands under those shoulders. Elbows are in. Press up and back. Your choice. You can go to puppy pose again, or if you need a little bit more of a rest, then you can go to child's pose. The idea is we want the body to feel better. Good. Breath in. Last time, knees under the hips. Lift the body up. And we want a nice flat back, so also avoid this dipping hip syndrome. We want a nice flat back, so press into the body, strong body, straight legs or on your knees. It is up to you. Again, it could be a different place today than tomorrow. Tomorrow you might want to try a full plank. Today, maybe you need the kneeling plank because you did a lot of work yesterday in the garden or whatever. Elbows, tuck them in, bring your body down, pause. Inhale, lift, little cobra, exhale down. Good, we're gonna go to crocodile. So one hand on top of the other, forehead down to your hands, and just imagine you are that nice little alligator crocodile on the beach. And the sun is just beaming down. And notice your belly pressing into the mat as you breathe. And the ribs opening up.
Now inhale and lift the head and just turn to one side. And just take another breath or two here. Again, noticing the sun, feeling it on the body, noticing the body moving. Lift the head, and let's turn to the other direction. Nice little stretch in the neck. This is one of the best poses. You can just rest. Maybe we can just stay here for the next, 35, 40 minutes. Good. One more here to the center. Great. So those hands, let's bring them back by the upper ribs. Open the palms. Press yourself up. Back to puppy. Curl those toes if they're not already. And then just press into those strong legs. Lifting that tailbone, pedaling the feet. Drop the head. Again, if you need to, you can go back to that puppy pose. Awesome. If you want just a little bit more in this downward dog, all you need to do is lift one leg. Make sure those toes are turned down. And switch it up after a breath. Good. And then from here, we're going to hop, skip, and jump, or maybe we'll just stroll to our hands to the top of the mat for our fold. Let the arms dangle. You can even do elephant. Oh, this is fun. So making almost like a trunk with your hands, one on top of the other, and you just a very gentle side to side. And feel free to sound like an elephant. I'm sure that sounds like an elephant, right? Good. And release that. Give yourself a little hug. Thank your body. Good. And then halfway lift. Breathe up. Open the chest. Exhale down. And reverse swan dive. And mountain. Good. So that's just check in with the body and see how things are feeling, and set ourselves back up with our foundation. So again, we're going to turn those feet forward, engage the thighs, tuck the tailbone just a little bit, open the chest, lift the head. Good, and breathe. Has anything shifted or changed? Just take note. Good. And I brought some water today. So I didn't mention it earlier, but if you have water, it's a good idea once in a while to just take a sip. It doesn't have to be what I'm telling you, but at any point, it's a good idea to just take some sips through our session. Okay, so back to that nice stable base. Let's take our hands to the waist now. And then our toes, what I want you to do is I want you to lift your toes up on your right foot. And then one at a time, I want you to put them down. Now, I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there. And then take your left foot, your left toes up, and then one at a time, as much as you can without looking, don't cheat. Squeeze them down. And then do that one more time. This is a great way to stretch your toes, to become aware, more aware of your feet. Good. Good. Open up the feet. And then that little squeeze on the mat is actually sort of like you're holding. So you're helping with your stability, you're helping with your balance, because we're going to go into some warrior poses now. Find that left and right balance. I always just like to do this, even a check for myself, to make sure I have a tendency to lean more to one side than the other as well, and I'm making sure I'm pretty much in my center here. So I'm going to lean to my left again. Now let me show you something really quick, because I don't know if you can quite get it, but I want you to see when I lean to my left, what happens with my hip. It pops out a little bit. Then what I want you to do is push into your heel and engage the muscle. Notice what happens here. So a lot of times I see people do this whole lean thing and then they step back. So you're putting a lot of pressure in that joint and a lot of stuff that we don't want to have happen. So we want to engage the muscles. Lean to the left, press in nice and strong. This right foot is going to become empty, and then the right foot comes back, toes are forward. We're going to go to our warrior one. It can be a short, it can be a long stance. It's up to you. And push that heel down. Push the heel down. The front knee needs to be over that ankle, so you need to check yourself here. And then my hips are as much as they can be to that short side of the mat. Lift my body tall. We're going to want to lean, but we want to lift it nice and tall. And then this left knee might want to also collapse. We want to consciously press it out and work on strengthening our hips as well. So we can stay here if we like, all day long if we like, or we could create something a little bit different. So let's lift our right arm up, but if you want to keep your hands at your waist, that's perfectly okay. Right hand lifts. We can look up if we like, or forward. Breathe into your right hip. Push that right heel down and keep that right knee soft. The left arm lifts. We look up. We breathe. Awesome. Good. And then from here, I want you to imagine we're holding something in between our hands. It's like a stability ball or maybe a block. We don't have to physically do that, but just imagine it. So lifting the body, we're going to lean a little to the left for a little bit of a lateral flexion. Keeping the head tall. Breathe. Good. Bring it back to center here. Bring your hands together. Your thumb to the sternum. Elbows, sometimes they're going to want to fly. We need to drop them. Drop the shoulders. Squeeze the tailbone under. And from here, we can stay here, or if you want just a little bit more, you're going to bend from the waist and push into that back heel. And we're going to squeeze what I've been telling you, squeeze the pelvis. It's also called a mula bandha. It's a bandha. It's a sort of a natural back brace. Good. From here, breathe in. Exhale. And press into that left leg. Lift the body. Lift the arms. And then on the exhale, we're going to draw the hands back and open the chest. Good. So they don't have to touch. They can just be, again, here, like we're squeezing something, pressing down, lift the head. If you can get them all together, that's fine. It's just up to you and where you are. Straps are not a bad idea either. Good. Draw the hands back to the waist. Lift the right heel. Step it in just a little bit. Keep that leg straight, toes pointed forward. Now let's straighten the left leg here. Body is tall. We're going to fold from the waist to what I call pyramid. So pyramid pose, we're going to come down, folding from the waist. Our nose is going to start coming towards our knee. Now I like to use blocks for support if I can't quite reach the mat. And even if I can, sometimes it still feels better just to use them to support the body so I'm not feeling like I'm straining my back or anything else. If your hamstring particularly is really tight, you can just also reach around and just do a little rub, just gentle, asking it to let go. Take one more breath here. Inhale into those areas that are tight or tense. And exhale, see if they can release. Good. We're going to lean a little to that left leg, step in with the right, and go back to that fold. Shaking the head out, nice and gentle. Swaying a little side to side. Possibly pedaling the legs. Good. And then from here, we're going to bend the legs again. Put our hands on the mat, stepping back to downward dog. Or puppy pose as an option. Again, letting the head just sort of hang between the upper arms.
Good, and from here, let's go to child's pose. Knees are wide to the edges of the mat and bring your body down. This time, let's actually let the elbows drop down, but still letting that forehead rest, rolling side to side. Good. Walk those fingertips back, lifting the elbows. Notice the stretch in the sides of the body, the ribs. Awesome. Inhale, lift, curl the toes. Go back to that downward dog. Pedaling the legs. And again, if you desire just a little bit more, feel free to lift one leg. Three-legged dog. For a breath. And then switch. Let your breath guide you. Good, bringing that down. You can lift and lower, and then begin that little stroll to the hands, to the top of the mat. Relax those arms, let the shoulders go. Whew. The head hang. Again, you can wrap around, grab elbows. Just lots of options. You can play with that. Inhale, lift the body. Halfway. There's not a lot of pressure here, pretty much none. My back is doing the work. Exhale down, reverse swan dive. Hands come to the waist. So we get to do the other side. Yay! Aren't you excited? I know I am. So remembering that little hip tilt thing, this pop the hip out. I like to do that first just so you notice what happens, so that left and right balance. So popping it out, but then press into the heel and notice what happens. So those muscles are beginning to work. So again, toes forward, slightly in. Pay attention if you're actually out. We want to make sure that they are forward here. Engaging the hips, engaging the body. This time we're going to lean to that right side. Press it in. Take the left foot back. Again, as long as you would like. And then press down into that heel for warrior one. All right, we're gonna lift the body, remembering if you wanna just keep your hands here and just open up that left hip, that's perfectly okay. Good, front knee over that ankle. And my toes are, again, to the top of the mat, that short side. Lift the left arm up, if you like. And also really maybe try to reach with this left hand and notice what that does into that left hip. Good, other hand can rise to meet it. Good, breath here. We're gonna do that little lateral flexion. So imagine again, you still have something you're holding on to. Lift it up and just a little bit to the right this time. Reach those arms out, come back to the center, draw those hands in prayer hands, drop the elbows, drop the shoulders, squeeze that mula bandha, that pelvis, tuck the tailbone in, and press into that back heel as we begin to fold from the waist. Couple of breaths here. Strong legs, everybody, strong legs. Breathe in as we lift, arms come up, and then open that chest again. Your choice, how close you can get it. It doesn't, so I don't ever want anyone to strain or force their body. I want it to feel natural with just a little bit, maybe extra support, maybe just a little bit more. Good, draw your hands to your waist, press into that back foot a little bit, bring it in closer, straighten the right leg, and we're gonna go down to pyramid pose. So the body is tall, and we're folding from the waist. Both legs are straight, and toes are pointed to the top of the mat, and my nose, the idea is to bring it towards my knee. Again, I love using my little supports. Sometimes I'll frame my front foot. And when you reach a point with your pyramid, if you can still let go of your neck so that the crown of your head is towards the mat, awesome. Whew. Let the body relax. Maybe reach around and love on that hamstring. See if you can get it to release a little bit more. Good. Inhale. Bring that left foot in and dangle to that fold. Whatever version you would like. Monkey, just a flat back. Ragdoll, elephant. Hug yourself. Whatever works. Let the head go. Let the mind go. Let the neck release. It holds up that noggin all day long. Whew. Good. Inhale. Lift the halfway. Exhale down. And then instead of doing that reverse swan dive right now, we're going to roll the shoulders up. So the right will come up. The left, sort of like something's pulling us up, shoulder by shoulder. Up, up. Squeeze the tailbone underneath. Squeeze that tailbone. Good. And then lift the shoulders up and down. Lift and lower. Good. Whew. How are we doing? We're done yet? Oh, no. Okay. All right. Still a little bit more, but that's good. We're going to go into balancing next. I love using blocks for balancing. Like I said before, cork blocks are my favorite simply because they are much more sturdy when we are using them for balancing. Sip of water. Always a good idea. So we're doing some balancing, and then we're going to come down on the mat and get in some deeper stretches. Woohoo! All right, so I'm going to put blocks. You can put one in front, one on the side. If you have a chair, like I said, a wall, maybe you have a partner next to you, you can use that for balance, maybe not the partner. So again, we're going to find that left and right center. You might want to come out a little bit further than the hips this time, maybe somewhere shoulder distance, not quite, somewhere in there. Again, toes forward, toes forward, toes forward. I can't say that enough. When we walk with our toes out, it puts a lot of pressure in the inside of that knee. We don't want that. It's no good. All right, so from here, back and forth. Yeah. All right, so I want you to lean to your left side and press in. From here, I want you to take, if you want to use a block, go right ahead and put that toe on that block, or you could just put it on the floor in front of you. That's all. Just a little support. We're going to just do a traditional tree pose today, but when I say traditional, there's lots of ways we can create a tree. So from here, and then we're going to just turn this knee out to the side, opening the hip. So if your knee only goes part way, that's fine. Again, relax your jaw. So there's actually a relationship between your jaw and your hip. So when you relax your jaw, it actually helps open the hip up. Okay, so this toe can be down on the mat. So I start with the toe forward, I open that knee, and then I'm going to bring in my heel maybe towards my shin or to my calf, somewhere in the middle there. And then at this point you can walk it up. Your hands could be in prayer. That sometimes will help with balance, but this is probably just as good. And then that foot can come up if you want to try a little bit more. If you want to try a little bit more, try to see if you can get that heel to the inner thigh. We don't want to press it in on the knee, and we want to keep that knee out as much as we can. Now, if your balance is a little bit off today, just be kind to yourself. It's okay. Tomorrow it might be better. Breathe here. You can even create some limbs for your tree. Shaking is good. Means things are working. Good. Hands come back to prayer. Knee comes center. Bring it down. Touch soft. And then roll that other ankle out.
You also can, I'm going to show you on this other side, have the block close to the other foot, so you could even use it as a lift, okay? Blocks are not weaknesses, they're actually strengths. That's the way I've looked at it. I used to think that blocks were something that you shouldn't use unless you really needed it, but actually it changes the dynamics of the poses and the stretches in such a way that can create something different for your body. So, lean to that right side, remember that hip popping out, press it in, and now we're gonna take that left foot knee forward, touch that toe, open the knee up, and that toe can be on the block. Again, it's just an extra support. That heel of the foot is in the inside of that right leg. And again, depending on how flexible you are, opening this hip might just be here. It might be a little bit more. It's up to you where you are. Now this hip's starting to pop out on me, so I want to press in. I want to engage my thigh. I want to engage my core. And from here, my hands can come to prayer. I can create some limbs. Now I have days where I'm using a block. I'm not going to be all up here and all fancy stuff. It's just, I'm still working balance. I'm working with my body. That's what's important. Breathe. You got it. Stay there. One more breath. Come on. That's it. Good. Turn that knee forward. Bring those hands in and down. Release. We get to do one more. Now, interesting enough, I notice when we do balancing that after you do it once, sometimes even twice, your balancing changes. It's like your body's going, oh, this is what you want me to do, so it does it a little bit easier. At least that's been my experience. All right, so again, left and right here. Let's lean to that left, press it in nice and tall. Right knee comes out, touch that toe, open up to the side, and that heel can be either down here, you can keep the toe on the, on the mat for balance, and hands, again, you choose. And then the other thing you can do is find what they call a drishti, or a soft focal point. So you can look sort of out over the horizon and just have a soft gaze somewhere, and that can help. Something that's still at your house or in front of you. Maybe not your partner if they're next to you, but something like a point so that it'll help with your balance. Lift the body tall, breathe. Don't forget to do that. Good. Draw that knee back to the center. Bring that foot down nice and easy. Good, and release that ankle. Do some rolls with that. And we got one more to go. So again, nice stable base. This is where we begin from. Lean to the right, press in, nice and tall body. Left knee comes out. Open it to the side, and then this heel can come in wherever. Again, we can use blocks if needed, or we can lift. It's just do not press into the inside of your knee. Your heel should be on your thigh or maybe your calf. Cool. Hands can be here. Still engage those muscles. Open the body. Drop your shoulders. Good. And then draw that knee back to the center. Bring this down, and nice and easy. Now, there are times in classes where I'm not quite in my balancing mood and I tumble or I have to step down. It's okay. It's all a work in progress. Just be kind to yourself as you're in this process. All right, so that's your balancing for today. Let's come down to the mat and we are going to use a strap for some of the next pieces, so let's have that just close at hand. I apologize, my allergies are kicking up today, but they are what they are. So let's come down to the mat, have a seat, and let's do butterfly. So our feet are going to be facing one another, and I love using support sometimes for this pose as well. So if we don't have that flexibility in the hips, if we're not there quite yet, taking blocks or blankets underneath is sometimes a great idea, so we're not straining our hips, okay? So again, if you need those, use those. All right, so lift the body nice and tall. Now, one of the things I find with people that do this pose, they'll do this. See how my back is starting to round and my hips are kind of sunk in. We want to press the hips forward. It might mean that your feet come out a little bit. That's okay. Press the hips forward. Again, open the chest and let the legs just sort of fall out and relax. And we've done some hip work already, so hopefully they're a little bit more at ease and a little bit more open. You can do a little fluttery because it is called butterfly. Good. Breathe here. Take the arms up. And then we're going to exhale. And as we exhale, we are going to fold forward and open our back up a little bit. Good. Lift the body, walk the hands in. Breathe up, and let's do a little turn to the right. One hand on the thigh, one hand on the mat behind us or the floor, looking over our right shoulder. Good. Back to the center, breath in. And we're going the other direction. One hand on the thigh. Again, we're not yanking and cranking. We're just using it for support. The left hand on the mat or the floor, looking over our left shoulder. Good. Untwist forward. I'm going to show you a nice little trick too today. So if your hips are tight, I'm sure nobody's are tight, right? So we're going to draw our arms down inside our legs. And we're going to just come forward just a little bit, just enough to make sure that our arms are there. What we want to do is we want to press in with our legs. So I'm going to press into my arms, just a little bit of pressure, and I'm squeezing. And then my arms are pressing down into my legs at the same time. So I'm going to do that little hold, it's isometric hold. Take a breath in. And then on the breath out, I want you to let go of that tension and that stress and that pressure and see what happens with your hips. See if you notice a change. Good. Good. So let's sit up. So we're going to do that stretch forward one more time, whether you want to use your arms or whether you want to do this little nifty little trick here. It's totally up to you. So I'm going to use the little nifty trick. Inhale, my nice flat back, and then exhale, I'm going to fold just a little bit, and then I'm going to start to maintain that pressure with my legs, squeezing in and my arms pressing out. Next breath out. I'm going to relax my legs and allow my chest to come down towards my feet. Releasing the hips, releasing any tension that you feel, and letting it go. Awesome. Breathe your body up. Inhale, let's do that twist one more time to the right and then to the left. Look over your shoulder, sit up tall. Inhale, center. And exhale, release, turn the other direction. Okay, come back to center, bring your legs in. And then we're gonna have a seat on the mat with our toes to the short side, and we're gonna sit up nice and tall. So we're gonna do a little bit of boat, a little bit of bridge, and a little bit of strap work here for the end. So feet flat on the mat, lift the chest. So a nice flat back, find your sits bones, okay? So sometimes I talk about we gotta move the fluff. So we gotta find those points. Toes are forward again, lifting the body, lifting the head. Good, and then my hands are under my thighs just for support if I need them. We're gonna lean back just a little bit. You might not need the hands here. If you don't, just draw them out to the side. And then we're gonna lift one leg. And if that's where you are, that's fine. And then draw it back down if you'd like. And you can lift the other leg for part of a boat. If you're feeling, hey, let's go full boat, then bring both legs up and breathe. So actually traditional boat legs are straight, or if their legs are bent, that's okay too. Keep the body tall. Good, sit up here. Bring your legs wide, hands underneath the thighs, and we're gonna do some seated cat and cow. So inhale, lift the chin, open the chest, rock the hips forward. Exhale, round the upper back, tuck the chin in. That should feel good. Inhale, exhale. Good, let's do one more of those. Cow, lift the chin. Don't strain your neck, just lift and open up the front of it. And exhale. Good. Awesome. Sit up nice and tall. Row, row, row your boat. Here we go. So hands can be here, underneath here. Again, make sure you're on your sits bones. Now, when we do lean back in the boat, sometimes your tailbone is you feel a little bit of pressure there. But again, that's where like a towel or a blanket or rolling your mat up would also help. Leaning back, arms engage. Legs up. Or one leg, that's fine. And bring it down. Another option actually is blocks to put underneath to lift it up a little bit higher to the floor. Or legs straight. Good, lift the body up. This time let's straighten the legs for staff pose and pull the toes into you. Now this is where I'm going to show you how to use the strap. Unless you already know how to do it, that's cool too. You don't have to use it, it's just an option. All right, so again, I'm sitting nice and tall. Sits bones, hands on either side, each strap. And I want to avoid this rounding, tucking in. I want to keep myself open. So inhale here. And as I exhale, I'm going to imagine my chest is coming forward first, down towards my knees. So it might just mean you can only move an inch or two. That's okay. You can move an inch or two. And then my elbows are tucking in. I'm not really, like I said, I'm not yanking and cranking. I'm just using my hands here for support. Excellent. Inhale, lift the body. Just let the strap fall down if you're using that. Bring the legs back. We're going to do boat 3 times a charm. Hands here, or maybe you won't do it again. It's up to you. Feet, toes forward, hands are here, lift the chest, lean back a little bit, and the legs come up one at a time. And they can straighten if you want traditional boat. If you need a little support, just maybe have a finger or two under the thigh, or keep the legs bent, also as a support. Then you forget to breathe. One more. Good, draw the body up. Straighten those legs for staff pose. Lift up nice and tall and use the strap or inhale, arms up and walk the hands down as another option. So again, I still want my chest to lead the way here towards my knees, not my chin. I don't want to dip it down. I want to have a nice long neck. I want to breathe easy and feel that stretch maybe in the back or underneath the hamstrings. And breathe that up. So just bring the strap. We're going to use it again next to you. Sit up tall, feet are flat, hands underneath your legs, and we're going to just let the body come down, one vertebrae at a time. Bring your legs in. What I mean is bring your heels towards your glutes, towards your butt, and then your fingertips towards your heels. So we're just going to do a little bit of bridge work. So notice right now if your low back is lifted or if it's actually touching the mat. If it's lifted, I want you to just consciously press that down so there's no space between your low back and the mat. Awesome. Just do that a couple times, release, and then press it down. Good. And then from here, shoulders should be down, chest is open. We're going to inhale and press into our heels. Toes should be forward, knees are hip distance. Press up into bridge. Good. Press up into your heels a little bit more. Notice the squeeze between the legs. So we're sort of squeezing in, we're not touching. And then the activation in the hips. Now maybe roll the shoulder blades a little bit towards one another. Opening the chest more, and then the chin. Make sure we're not tucked in. We want to be lifted towards the ceiling a little bit so we can breathe easy. Good. Draw the body down one vertebrae at a time. Very easy, very gentle. Draw the knees into the chest and just a little hug. You can even do a few circles to the right, a couple circles to the left. Good. Awesome. Bring the feet back down, fingertips again towards those heels. And pressing the shoulder blades into the spine or into the mat a little bit towards the spine. And the low back again, is it lifted or pressed in? Press it down to the mat. Inhale, rise. Press into the heels, and then you can roll underneath. Now, sometimes I see people bring their hands underneath. That is another option if you know how to do that, or if you want to try to do that, roll underneath, and the hands come towards one another. It just opens the chest a little bit more. Again, the chin is lifted so you can breathe. Push into the heels. Your toes, the balls of my feet, there's really no pressure, so I should be able to lift those pretty easy. So working our posterior, our back, our glutes, our hamstrings. Good, release. Come all the way down. Nice and easy. And knees in to chest. And again, if you want to do those little circles, go for it, if that feels good. Awesome sauce. One more time, everybody. So feet back down, toes forward, heels in, so you should be able to touch your fingertips. And then press that low back down, press into the heels, lift, and breathe. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. If you need to come down at 2 breaths, that's okay. You modify for what your body needs today. Slow breath, slow exhale. We got one more. Good, let that go. Bring it down. Nice and easy. And knees in. Cool. So the next part, I have the strap here in case you do want to use it. If you don't, that's okay. It's up to you. So we're going to take that right leg to the ceiling. We're going to place the strap around the ball of the foot. Now, if you want to deepen the stretch just a little bit, straighten the left leg. From here, you're going to inhale. Now, pull the left toes towards you also, and exhale, and draw the right toes to you. Again, I'm not going to crank it with my arms. I'm just going to take my elbows down towards my body and gently draw this leg in. Actively press into your left heel as well. It's on the mat. or for some people it might be your other left. Good. From here, we're going to bend that left leg again. Take the right ankle across to that left thigh. Now, you can keep the strap on this right foot, or a better support could be underneath this left thigh. So we're going to inhale, and then exhale, draw that left thigh towards the body. Noticing how I'm flexing both feet, and that my left leg, I have it's parallel, so, or it's 90-degree angle, so it's not dropped in. It's good. You get a little bit of a deeper stretch that way. Good. One more breath here. Excellent. Draw that down. And we're simply going to just change gears and switch to the other side. So left foot, strap around the ball of the foot. And again, you can keep the leg bent or straighten it if you want just a little bit of a deeper stretch. Press that right heel out, right toes are in. Inhale, exhale, I'm drawing my elbows in just a little bit. My leg towards my body. Now, like I said, in pyramid pose, I was reaching around and just doing that little brush. You can do that as well here. And keep a slight bend in that knee. We don't want it locked. We don't want a big bend either. We want to have a good stretch in the back of the hamstring. Now, our hamstrings also can lead to some lower back tightness. So this is a good muscle to open up, to get some ease of tension in your back. Good, one more breath here. Ease, let it go, let it go. Good, now draw that right leg up, right ankle or left ankle across to the right leg. And you can, like I said, keep it here, but generally a deeper support is around this thigh. If you don't need it, you don't need it. Like you could even use your hands on the thigh, but sometimes it feels good to have the strap right there as well. So breath in. Exhale, draw it towards you. Again, both feet are flexed, shoulders are down into the mat. And I'm focusing on this left hip now of the stretch. When you are breathing, breathe into the area that you feel is tight. That's sort of pulling and not letting go. See if you can get it to melt. Excellent. All right, very good. Put that leg down. You can take the strap over wherever. Bring your knees in. And then let's just take our legs up and point the toes. Flex the feet. Point and flex. And then one leg at a time. Right leg comes down. Heel touch, slide in. Left down, heel touch, slide in. And then you can stay here if you like for your rest or your shavasana. Sometimes people like to put their legs up a wall. Some other ways you can straighten the legs. I find for me this is a lot of tension in my low back. But your rest is just as important as the work. So I'm just going to take a couple of minutes with you to just do this rest. And then give yourself permission to maybe do it a little bit longer if needed. So the idea here is just to let the body relax and let go. So you go ahead and adjust that. I'm just going to sort of walk you through some tension release in your rest. Good. Take a breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, letting go of any tension that you feel in your upper back. Let your shoulders release into the mat. Let your chest open even more. Allow your neck to release. You can even turn your head a little side to side. Coming back to the center. Allow the just muscles to melt. Allow your jaw to relax and release. Good, and going down the body, let the arms sink into the mat. Let the hands and the fingers, maybe close your fist, close your hands, and then release if you'd like. Getting them to let go completely. Allow your hips to sink even deeper into the mat and let go of any tension that it's still holding. And traveling down with your upper thighs, allow the upper thighs to just relax and let go. And if your legs are straight, just allow your legs to fall out to the side right now, opening up the hip. Notice the knees. How do the knees feel? The lower legs, allow them to release and relax. And what about your ankles? Sometimes we forget about our ankles. Maybe move the feet a little bit to see how they're doing. And your feet, do they feel lighter and brighter? So stay here for as long as you'd like. Maybe a couple more minutes. But when you're ready, I want you to roll to the side and press yourself up. Or stay in that rest. It's really just as important as all of the work that we do in yoga. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you feel lighter and better. And again, my name is Cheryl Gallagher. Maybe come join me when the Senior Center opens its doors again for some classes. And so we can have some fun. All right, guys, namaste. Have a great one.